And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's 0703, 1.55 miles into today's ruck. Got a late start this morning, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, today's day 3. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about drugs and alcohol. So it's a pretty uncomfortable topic as well. I don't necessarily like telling people or, judging people on how they should live their lives or what they should put into their bodies. This is only surrounding mental health. So if you got all your ducks in a row, you got a good job and everything and you hold it down or whatever, hey, by all means party, enjoy your life. This isn't a guilt trip or a lecture or anything about how you're fucking up. Sorry, pardon my language, but so let's talk about alcohol, number one. The reason I want to get that out of the way is because I want to reiterate, if you got your stuff together, hey, by all means, enjoy you a beer after a long day of work, or when you're out on the lake or fishing, or doing whatever, as long as it's responsible. But to my guys and girls, number one, that feel like they have to drink, that feel like if they don't drink, something's wrong with them, or they're weak, or they're a sissy, or a bitch, or whatever. That's in fact not true. Not true at all. And I have felt like that before myself, especially in our culture. Our culture, it is almost like, hey, it's Monday, where's the beer at? Hey, it's Wednesday, let's go get drunk at the bar. Hey, it's Saturday, let's go out to the lake and get drunk. Like it's deeply embedded in our culture, and the saddest part is that it continues to be like an unspoken thing almost amongst the ranks. And some of these senior, commissioned and not, or like, non-commissioned officers or even officers, they have seen what the alcohol will do to a good soldier, sailor, airman, whatever, all y'all, Marines, all y'all's titles. They have seen in the past what alcohol will do to someone's career. But yet you don't hear a lot of people saying, hey guys, if you don't want to drink, I'm doing something at my house this weekend and we won't be drinking. Or, if you want to have a few beers, that's fine, but that's not what our get together is about. But you're still, more than welcome to bring your beer. It's baffling. It really is, because we'll have safety briefings and we'll say, oh, if you get too messed up, call me, call everybody else before you call me, but call me. So it's almost like, don't go get messed up. But if you do get messed up, I'm going to come bail you out. And that's not always the case. It doesn't always work like that. But I have seen it work in cases like that, to where it's almost glorified that the person got, for lack of, a weak vocabulary, where, shit-faced, and they came and got rescued by somebody. And then we've had a briefing about it later, and them basically be praised. And in that situation, yeah, technically they did do the right thing by utilizing their chain of command and not getting a DUI or not getting a public intox. I understand that. But what alcoholism shows to me is a lack of self-control. And I've had it. My friends have had it. My family members have had it. Some of my friends still struggle with it. Some of my family members still struggle with it. It's so socially accepted in society and bred into our culture that I feel like there's guys and girls out there that don't think that they can not drink and still be a part of our culture or have something in common with us, or somehow that's this CLP for relationships, lubricant, how that's some type of liquid lubricant for relationships in the military, or to blow off steam, when there's so many more options. So many more. To my guys and girls out there that drink too much, know they drink too much, and they want to do something about it, there's so many resources out there, guys and girls, so many resources. You would just be surprised if you Google AA meetings, and don't knock it till you try it. Do not knock it till you try it. Take everything with a grain of salt. You know how it is. Don't, perceive a situation just off the first one. If you don't like that place, go to a different one. Do an online one, or whatever it is that you have to do to get to a place in your life where you feel like you can get your alcohol under control. Oh, my bad. Your alcoholism under control. Especially if you're aware of it. That is the worst thing in the world, to be aware consciously that you have a problem, and that you're messing up your life and hurting other people with your alcohol or your drug use. But especially hitting home with alcohol, like I said, you can pick it up at any store. It's cheap. It's legal to be drunk in, the right situations. There's a low judgmental level on it too, with people. There's a lot of, oh, well, I was drunk, so it's okay. But for the guys and girls that know that they have a problem, I feel like that's almost one of the worst spots to be in, because you feel like you just can't help yourself. And I understand that. I get that. But do know that there is places, people, and things that are out there to help you get sober, if that's what you really want to do. But don't pick up a new habit trying to curb that one. If you want to pick up exercise, or you want to pick up, cooking or something like that, like, that's awesome. Like, that's so cool. We'll get a dog, whatever. But, make sure you're doing it for you. Get sober for you. But my heart goes out to those guys the most, of the people that know that they have a problem and they want to change it, but they keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Y'all do not knock AA. I'm going to share some more personal stuff. My dad, right before I was born, almost died for alcohol. So, and he got sober before I was born and stayed sober to the day I died. So my dad was sober like 27, 28 years. Yeah, man. Through AA and through a higher power. But I'm not here to push that on you. I'm going to cover that in another video. The guys that are gone already and don't think they have a problem, and or the guys that don't care if they have a problem, this is my message to you. People out there still love you. You haven't made too big a fool of yourself to come back yet. If you stay out there running, drunk like that and don't never make amends, then yes, that is the truth. But a personal choice that you make to stop drinking alcohol for yourself, you could change the tides of all that. You could change that whole story. You could rewrite that chapter. However, and maybe some doors have closed. Maybe some doors will never be open again. Maybe some relationships will never be what they were at one time. But you'll have a better life to be able to process what happened and those feelings that come along with that. And it will be a much better, enjoyable experience, I believe, deep down in my heart, for guys and girls that get sober. Because I know dudes that just, their alcohol, it's out of control. They don't care. But then when they're sober, they care. If you think I'm talking about you, I am. Because there's more than one of y'all. So it's not just like, one of my buddies is going to come and be, hey man, that's fucked up, you're talking about me. No, I was talking about all of y'all. All of y'all that do that. Because guess what? Y'all seen it happen to me too. Pot calling the kettle black. But here's the deal. I love those guys still, and I wish that they would get sober. And I wish that I would pick up the phone and have this same talk with them. And maybe that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is I'm trying to put, I can't pick up the phone and call these people and say this to them, because it's a weird relationship that you have with people that you've almost, died with, or that you were willing to die for, and you've had, all these stressful experiences together, and you shared all of these resources together over a long amount of time, You know, these relationships are weird, and not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. I just mean that they're fragile. You don't want to. They're not. Sorry, they're not fragile in that sense. It's just we approach each other fragilely. We don't want to sound like bitches. We don't want to sound like sissies. We don't want to sound like we're lecturing somebody. We just, you know, it's a weird culture, man. It is weird. It's awesome. It's the most coolest thing I've ever been a part of, but it's also weird now that we're all out. But yeah, you got a chance to rewrite your book. You know, not the whole thing, but at least how it ends. And I understand if you don't got a lot to live for, but once again, like my video yesterday, the VA's got a lot of stuff for you, especially to deal with alcohol and drug abuse a lot. I mean, my Lord, they have got it all for you. Believe me, I promise. I promise. Go down there, check it out. Check it out. AA meetings, check them out. And, you know, for all my guys and girls, if anybody sees this, ladies and gentlemen, and you're in the military right now, you don't have to go drink with your buddies every Saturday night and every Friday night. You don't have to. You go hit the gym. I mean, there's so many other things you do. You go find a girl to take out on a date, or a guy to take you out on a date, vice versa. You know, there's so many other. There's MWR. And I know these things don't sound cool or fun, but there's alternatives. And I promise you, your career versus their career. And when you do a 10-year lap, like, you know what I'm saying, fast forward, you're going to be in a much better place than they will be, physically, mentally, and career-wise. Yeah. Alcohol has ruined a lot of good guys. It's ruined a lot of. I lost a really good school over it. I got an alcohol-related incident when I was a specialist. Just put specialist on. I hadn't even had it for, I think, 2 weeks, if that, and lost it, and lost the school with it. Yep. Had TDY orders, everything, packing list, all that. Yep, and lost it. One of the schools I wanted to go to ever since I was a kid, and lost it because of alcohol. You know, it's a tough topic because it is legal, and it is socially acceptable, and in our culture, it's almost pushed. Now, shifting gears, we're gonna talk about drugs, and I know before anybody gets on here, oh well, pot's not a drug, pot's not a drug. Okay. Anything that you are selling something to buy, i.e. taking said object that you already own, selling it to somebody else to gain money to then go and buy that whatever legal or illegal substance, that's a drug. Same with alcohol. You see these guys ride to the store on their bicycles 10 miles one way, they live in the country and back because they got DUIs. Hey, that alcohol moving them, son. Pushing their priorities in their life. Same with drugs. Now, let's go ahead and knock marijuana out of the park, out of the gate first and foremost, because that one's so taboo now along with alcohol. If you've got a medical marijuana card and you do your thing, you go to work like a normal person every day, you know, and obey by the law and all that, then hey, thumbs up, go green, man. That's cool, that's awesome. But now I'm not going to sit here and clown another individual that does the same thing as you, but just chooses to do it in a different way. I'm not the sheriff, I'm not judge and jury, you know what I mean? That's not my place. Just know that in my personal experience in life, marijuana will keep you in a comfortable mind space and body. Like, it will keep you in a comfortable mental state. But it's also like an enabler for you to not better yourself, to get out of any situation that you don't like. Because what you do is you just smoke a joint or hit a bowl or however you like to do it nowadays. And you're content, you can rationalize that problem not being a problem anymore, or you can get over it, that how many ever hours that high lasts, and you won't fix that problem. You won't. You'll just keep smoking about it until it goes away, and then you find the next thing, and it's just a weird wave to ride. But then other people, man, they smoke, they clean their whole house, they do all this stuff, they're great. Some people, they smoke and they eat everything in the doggone house. That's cool too. I have no quarrels with that as long as you're not neglecting any other responsibilities to put that first. I've been guilty of it before, so I can't sit up here and say that anybody's wrong or whatever. I'm just saying that if you need a moral compass for this, that's your moral compass. If you're giving that more time than you are your kids, or more time than you are your job, or more time than you are your spouse or your significant other, or whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend, dog, might want to think about it. It's just a thought. Now, here we go with the hardcore drugs. And for all you people that are out there that are doing these hardcore said drugs, a lot of my friends are going to go, oh, go ahead, Will, say something about that, hippopotamus, you hypocrite. Hey, that is very true. I very much liked to party when I was younger. And, I was pretty decent at it, so I thought, you know what I mean? I held it together for a long time. But stimulants will take you out all the way into a place to where you're not rational. And then you add a mental health problem on top of that. Same with drinking. You add a mental health problem on top of that. That's like having a bonfire stacked full of wood ready to go, right? And then you just pouring gas on top of it. Instead of lighting one piece of wood and sticking it underneath there at the bottom and letting it slowly go up, you just go pour the alcohol on top. You can pour the gas on top of it. When you already got a fire there going, you already got something to work with right there. You don't have to add anything on top of it, because you don't know which way it's going to go, in your favor or against you, hurt you or the people around you. You don't know, or both. With stimulants, I feel so strongly about this subject that it's hard to talk about. It is. Guys and girls that have ADHD, if you need medication, get your medication. I don't take it because of what it's got in there. That's just a personal choice. But if you need the medication and you need to take it, that's fine. Don't start looking for it on the street, because now you know better than those folks that you make fun of that's walking up and down the street on the sidewalk begging for money and pop locking and dropping it, checking for bugs. You not no different. Opiates. My heart goes out to a lot of folks that are addicted to those. I know the doctors did it to y'all, but at the same time, the doctor don't make you go look for them on the street. The doctor doesn't make you stimulate a black market economy. And or another thing, if y'all like opiates right now, y'all got to be some crazy SOBs, because this fentanyl junk, I mean, it isn't no bigger than a knee on a mosquito. How much of that shit can kill you? And y'all out here playing with these folks that you think might care about you as your buddy, as your homie, because he sells you, or he or her sells you drugs. They don't care if you die. They don't even know what they have sometimes. They kill you on accident. You don't want them problems. Just stay away from all that stuff, man. And there's programs at the VA for that too. I promise you, man. If you got drug or alcohol problems, seriously, seek some help. Don't sit there and let 5, 10, 15 years go by and you've not done anything about it and known that there's a place that you can go and get help, and or people that you can talk to that have been down that road, and you just listen to them. Listen to what they've got to say. Don't just listen to me. Go talk to somebody else at a meeting, an NA or AA meeting. And mind you, those people have been through it too. They walked down that road too. They're going to tell you some stories, make your stuff look like Chuck E. Cheese birthday parties. But drugs and alcohol, at the end of the day, are not going to help you with any mental health problem. They're not. It is not a good idea to run around dumping lighter fluid on problems. That's what you're doing when you're, and nobody's giving me, this is how I view being, this is how I view living with a mental health problem and have done the alcohol thing, have done the drug thing, and I've watched how it's worked for me. And I've always went back and noticed, like, hey, if I wouldn't have had that in my system at that time, that situation probably would have turned out a lot different. And then I think, oh, wow, then maybe how many other situations when I was, drunk or high or whatever, you know what I'm saying, before I even got my diagnosis, could have went a lot different ways if, some factors would have been taken out of there. So I love you guys and girls. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later.